Chelsea Handler did a comedy set. I'm assuming this was somewhere in LA. I'm not sure where. It didn't have to be, though. I don't even know why that's a safe thing to assume, since she tours. But this is at a pretty big theater, and Chelsea Handler did that Instagram video with Noah Tishby, the Zionist, where they did the typical gaslighting. This was months back, about you could be pro-Palestine and pro-Israel, blah blah blah, right?
Before we go any further, I want to be clear that we are pro-Palestinian and anti-Hamas, and it is okay to question Israel's policies and still be pro-Israel.
Correct. So what happened on October 7th was the worst act of violence against Jewish people since the Holocaust. But progressives, especially on college campuses and on social media, have been led to believe that any response by Israel to this attack is unacceptable, and to victim blame Israel for the entire situation to begin with.
Which I don't understand, because progressives should love Israel.
Israel is a single consistent democracy and the only progressive country in the entire region. Do you like free speech?
I like it.
Being able to criticize your government?
I
do you
love
like
that part,
Great.
yes.
You can do that in Israel.
And do you like gay weddings? You know, the fun kind without straight people? So does Israel.
And how about freedom of press? Freedom of religion?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Women's rights.
Yes, I love to ski topless. I would like to continue doing so.
You know what else is progressive? Free and fair elections.
Israel is our greatest defense in the Middle East for all of Western democracy and Western values. If Israel goes down, guess who they're coming for next?
All right, if you value being a progressive, just make sure that you stay informed.
And one of the best ways to stay informed on this subject is to follow Noah on Instagram at Noah Tishby.
Meanwhile, if you look at Tishby's Instagram, which Chelsea Handler refers to in the show, it's just all her posing with the IDF and, just make excuse after excuse for horror after horror. So here is Chelsea Handler getting some pushback from the audience. It's about time.
I can't hear you. What? Oh, honey, please. This is not what this night is for.
Oh, honey, please.
Remove her.
Remove her.
Palestinian babies! You're a genocide supporter! Genocide supporter!
I heard that midget she fucked was there, too.
Let's just wait until she goes out or loses her voice. I'm so sorry, you guys.
You guys should be this angry about genocide! No people standing up! Be angry about genocide! Be angry about genocide!
Good luck. These are people who literally paid money to see Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, right. Somebody said they should die. That wasn't Chelsea Handler, to be clear. It was one of the audience.
With a taser pointed at my kidney, saying they're going to tase me if they don't give them both hands. I mean, just police brutality. It's all on camera on the inside. I thought I was filming myself, but my camera wasn't working. Back up. Home.
Yeah, so this isn't New York. That's not NYPD.
No, I thought that was LA, but maybe I'm wrong.
You can just let her go.
I'm assuming the only city where there would be that many people shallow and stupid enough to pay to see Chelsea Handler would be Los Angeles. But maybe that's a wrong assumption. I don't know. It looked like a pretty big
New
theater.
New York. You
Maybe
got
New
those
York.
people.
Yeah.
Look at the Maddow thing.
Well, yeah, of course.
That
Handler,
was packed. Well, see, this is where, that night with Jose, they didn't arrest us, but you do have to go into these things prepared to get arrested. In the end, if a cop wants to fuck with you, they'll just arrest. They can arrest you for any reason, and then the judge will just dismiss it if it's no cause. But they know they gave you a bad couple days.
Right. Exactly. And what makes Handler especially repulsive is that she constantly virtue signals the most shallow, liberal sentiments about identity politics, about feminism, about gay rights. Like she said in the video with Noah Tishby, Israel is an ally because you can have a gay wedding, which is the fun kind of wedding, which apparently is not even true. I don't think they have gay marriage in Israel. But even if it were...
don't they only have civil unions in Israel?
I don't think they have full marriage recognition in Israel. But you can have a ceremony, and those are the fun ones. She says, the fun kind of wedding without all the straight people, like virtue signaling that she prefers gay weddings to straight weddings in order to sort of build some kind of liberal, progressive bona fides, while at the same time using that sentiment to justify or at least excuse genocide being committed by Israel. So, she's just the worst. I mean, that is the lowest and most amoral weaponization of woke politics that you could think of. And she is the worst offender. And so it's about time that someone called her out on that. Because, she'll say, I can ski topless. And like this whole thing, like, total just like shallow girl boss feminism with no actual critique of systems of power that oppress ordinary people, right? Just the most shallow surface level I'm with her bullshit. And it's one thing to be that way. I mean, that's off-putting in general, but it's especially off-putting when you hide behind that kind of virtue signaling to excuse a genocide.
Chelsea Handler has long liked to talk about her sex life in that tone of it being empowering.
Right, that it's liberating, right.
It's very liberating and very empowering. Now, listen, I'm a libertarian as far as things like that go. Like, if you're not hurting anybody, everything's consenting, I go live your best life, whatever. But that's not a value system. It's not a substitute for an ethics or a morality, and it certainly does not constitute an ethics or a morality in and of itself. Certainly, if you want to think a little more deeply and philosophically than that ding-dong would be capable of doing, there have been a lot of disciplines of the mind, a lot of theologies, a lot of spiritual precepts that suggest that a certain disciplining of the body is required to free the mind. Now, that's not a moral thing. That's a question of what you want to do with your life or your consciousness. But the idea that just being completely sexually hedonistic is somehow the path to true wisdom and liberation, I don't think that's really a great message to put out either. And it is kind of part and parcel of the new left liberal ethos. Right.
Yeah, it's just
why
narcissism.
They can't draw any. It's narcissism. Right. This is me. This is what I feel. This is what I like. Who cares? Why is that supposed to be? What's so fucking interesting about that? Keep it to yourself.
Well, it's also it is using that to express a certain virtue, right? I'm living a certain lifestyle, and by me as a famous person doing this and talking about this, I'm empowering other people to do the same thing, and that's liberating to women and girls.
Right,
and
but it's not. Look, is it?
Well, is it or is it not? Like I said, I'm with you on that. I don't care how anybody lives their life. To me, that's the most boring thing in the world, is to concern myself with how someone else lives their life. But
in both directions, I'm not interested in hearing about it either.
Right. But and what is obnoxious about it is when you project that, as you said, as a value system, because it's not a value system. Fuck who you want, don't fuck who you don't. I don't care. But don't come to me and say that you're a virtuous person because of who you fuck and who you don't. That's irrelevant.
And because you like to tell everyone about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So good for the people. I mean, I don't think those were fans who turned on her. I think those were interventionists who bought a ticket knowing they were going to start some shit. But good, because her fans need to hear it, because her fans are the kinds of people who get sucked into that, not really knowing. Like, some of them are shallow and stupid, and they take a certain pleasure in that. But some of them are just like well-meaning liberals who actually think that it is acceptable to substitute that kind of virtue signaling for an actual, like, political ideology or thought process.
Please clap.